it was like, oh my God, all those people, and I'm supposed to get to know them all. And in the end, they're just like a second family now.
A lot of patience, how to conduct experiments. This is something that I did not know before DPS at all.
I learned that it's very important to have the software engineers on the team from the beginning. When you start with user testing, with creating the story map, they have to be on board, and if they are on board, they will understand what it's all about, and they will be able to do a much better job than if they just get onboarded later in the process.
I think it's important not to just dash off and start coding, but to verify everything before you start building something to know whether the user is actually going to use it or not, so that you don't do it for nothing.
So I personally think this user flow is really important, how the user interacts with the application, if he's able to understand what he has to do next or not. By conducting different experiments and by knowing which color is sketchy or which element should be placed where and where they can see it properly, it overall improves the product, and you don't have to go back and forth to the user to see if they're able to understand the product in a much better way. I've always worked in bigger companies before coming to DPS, and I think working in a cross-functional team overall has given me a lot of insight on how to manage teams in a much better way.
Everything, really. I expected many things to happen. I didn't expect to get to know the people so good. It was a great experience arriving at DPS and this off-site event and seeing all those people, and it was like, oh my God, all those people, and I'm supposed to get to know them all. And in the end, they're just like a second family now, especially your own team, of course. You stick together with them all the time, and you really get to know and like each other. The other things I didn't expect. You learn so much things about working, about agile working, about using new technologies and methods, and I didn't expect that to work out so good, really.
The funnest thing was definitely Julian bringing the e-scooter up into the building for testing, actually driving it around the office for gathering data.
Be open. It's a very valuable experience.
Yeah, I would say the same.
I think for me it would be to always be as specific as possible when you're formulating your thoughts, because it's easy to agree on something that's very general, and then everybody would say, yeah, that's a good idea, let's do it like that. But when it comes to execution and everybody has like a slightly different interpretation because the statement is that generic, it would be very useful to be very specific from the very beginning so that everybody's on the same page. We actually were not on the same page, and we had to redefine and be more specific.
And I also think that you should be very clear about your expectations with the team and with others from the very beginning, so that there are no misunderstandings.